Is anybody else joining us?
No, just us two. I'm running like 30 minutes late, so. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, everyone that can hear the sound of my voice, to this week's edition of the Petty and Ill-Informed podcast, where we venture our petty and ill-informed opinions about a variety of topics. Joining me is Nikki. Hello, Nikki.
Hey, Richard, how are you?
Yeah, not too shabby. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Enjoying the gunfires.
Yeah, you taking cover?
Nah, I mean it's down the street. It's closer than I've ever heard gunshots here. I don't know. The only thing I really worry about in my neighborhood is that all of a sudden I'm gonna get a fleet of ice trucks come in and like start battering down doors or some shit, you know?
Yeah.
Which I'm legal. I'm an American citizen, but that doesn't mean they can't lock me up. So
I was going to say, I don't think that stops them anymore, does it?
you live in the same area and vicinity, as the brown people. So you're honorary brown people. Not that I think that they should be locked up. I absolutely don't. But it's stupid and it's scary. I feel very bad for my neighbors right now. But yeah, otherwise, fine.
Are they of Mexican descent?
I think there might be in this entire neighborhood. I think there's one other white family and there's one black family. So there's two white families and a black family that live in this neighborhood. Everybody else is Spanish some way, Mexican, Dominican. I don't know what there's, if they're U.S. citizens. I don't know what their status is, and I genuinely don't care. They're great freaking neighbors.
Well, I mean, so the ice thing's a legitimate worry.
Oh, yeah. Like, I'm not worried for myself, but I'm legitimately worried for my neighbors. Absolutely. And who knows what could happen when you got people that are all wound up, but it was like, it's probably like a block or so down. It's the closest I've ever heard gunshots here. Exactly. I'm with Gabby. I don't give a crap. I don't give a crap where you're from. Whatever. As long as you're not harming anybody, you're just trying to live your life as best you can. I don't care where you come from.
I mean, imagine ICE agents knocking on your door. What's your surname? Frederico. Get her.
Get her. Your surname. Yeah. I'd be like, no, I come in peace. That's a pretty freaking German surname. Can I just let you know? It sounds German, right?
So you're German, eh? Not American. Get her.
Nah, they'd be like, one of us, Sig Heil. I don't know.
I mean, wow. Do you know what? I'm actually going to offend ICE. I was actually deported, and they were nothing but nice to me. So
right, I don't have an issue with ICE agents. The Sig Heil is just the commentary.
I mean, we make fun of everyone, so we're going to make fun of them. But just on a serious note, I was deported from America, and ICE were nothing but nice to me.
I'm just hoping that ICE doesn't get antsy like our police do. Our police who have opened up fire because an acorn hit the top of a car, like that.
Okay, that squirrel was clearly a terrorist.
I've been shot.
I'm hit. Avenge me.
That is my fear. I firstly, I don't want to see my neighbors disappear. That'd be really sad. I secondly am afraid of crossfire. Like, even I live in Memphis, like there's gang violence everywhere. I'm not really worried about it. Because if you mind your own business, you keep your head down, no one's really going to fuck with you. The only reason that I get afraid of gang violence isn't because I'm afraid it's going to be aimed at me. I'm afraid I'm going to get caught in a crossfire and get shot on accident. Like, obviously I wasn't the target, but I was in the vicinity, so I got it. That's the only reason I have a fear of these kind of things.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm afraid of as well. I mean, not be the target and still get shot in that sort of situation. How close is
Yeah.
the gunfire?
Like I said, like maybe a block or so away.
Oh
Closer
dear.
than I've ever had it. Usually like usually I know where it's coming from. It's far enough away that I'm like, it's, a mile or so down the street or whatever. No big.
Are just shooting cans off their back, or is it like a
No, no,
full?
no, 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 no. No. There's no place to shoot cans in your backyard in Memphis. Not really. There are some places, but
I
usually
didn't
that's an
say
outside of
legally.
Memphis thing. No, no, no. I'm saying that the houses are too close together. You have nowhere to shoot cans. You have to go to a range or have a friend in the country. But where I'm at, nobody is shooting cans out back.
Oh, so it's
They're
like
shooting
people.
at each other.
Fair enough. Maybe, old Mr. Abernathy finally got sick and tired of his neighbours cutting the lawn so short.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my main reason I'm against vigilantism, because it will start with hunting down pedos and rapists, and it ends with that, people not following the HOA regulations.
Right. And then you just gun them down. And I mean, like, let's be honest, as adults, you probably live next to a person that you wish you could just gun down for the sake of
Oh, hell yeah.
reasons.
Right now, my neighbours on the left side have a tame pigeon that won't leave you alone if you go outside. It'll literally follow you around. Now, and I'm a person that likes birds, but this thing will land on your shoulder suddenly
Aw.
without warning.
No,
It terrifies the shit out of me.
but it's a baby burb.
It's not a baby burb, it's a full grown adult burb.
So I've tried to pet pigeons. You have no idea. I have tried.
I like the pigeon. It's just I don't like being surprised.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't
get it.
like.
You
suddenly
want
shot.
him to be a bit more, announcing of himself.
Yes, I want him to land in a tree next to me and go, "May I stand on your shoulder?" And I'll be like, "Sure, you can."
He's
Boundaries.
not a cat.
Okay, a cat. Like a cat is going to ask permission to do anything.
One of my cats does ask for permission to do stuff.
Bollocks.
No, absolutely. So I read this thing when I got baby kitten and stuff like this. I was doing all this reading on cats. And anyway, they were talking about respecting their space. So there's this thing that I would do to make sure it was okay to pet them. I would give them a little gentle tap. And if they were receptive, I would go ahead and pet them. If not, then I wouldn't. Well, now Fat Boy is so accustomed to it that he'll come up to you and like tap your shoulder to get attention so that you will pet him. However, he doesn't quite understand the boundary of I told you no and I don't want to pet you to mean no and leave me alone. It just means that he needs to pat me more often.
Yeah.
But
so he demands fluffles.
He does. Yeah. But in a polite way. He's polite about it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the thing I remembered what I wanted to talk about. Did you or anybody else in the chat take a moment to watch the Ethan Klein video on Hassan Piker this week?
No.
It's got like 10 million views. It went mega viral. It's a content.
Ethan Klein. I know who Ethan Klein is. I'm not a big fan of his. Why did it go viral?
Me neither. I find him to be an irritating human.
So why did it go viral?
Because it was like just pointing out how Twitch is ignoring its terms and services to promote someone who essentially platformed terrorism.
Oh.
It was really good.
Who is it?
Hassan Piker, Gabby.
Oh.
He's number one on Twitch at the moment.
I've never heard of him.
Yeah, you know those douchebags that used to hang outside of colleges with guitars in tie-dye sweaters and talk about spirituality while playing like a couple of chords to attract girls?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Hassan Piker.
Oh, good for him. He sounds like a real winner.
But you didn't watch it. You mentioned something in the Discord about weirdos you found on internet,
Yeah.
like Russ
Yeah, like it's
McCamey.
amazing how cult adjacent I can get in my fandoms. Like, as a lot of people know, I first of all, Gabby, God, I hope so. I hope Kendrick does not like us tomorrow. I hope he does. I hope he does it 5 times. Anyway, people that know
What?
Kendrick Lamar and the Super
Well, the Chiefs are going to
Bowl.
win, and then he's going to propose
But
to Taylor Swift.
we're talking about Kendrick Lamar though, and him
Hmm.
singing his song "Not Like Us." Um, yeah, I don't know, man. I think that that's going to happen. So I was talking about how I've been cult adjacent many times. Like I used to be part of Russ McCamey's group, like McCamey Manor. I used to talk to Russ. I talked to his ex. I was very active in that community until I saw it go south. And then I used to be part of, and this is around the same time, but on the complete opposite spectrum, kind of. So I was watching McCamey Manor. He's like torturing people, beating the crap out of him, right? And on the
Yeah.
other side, I'm watching this guy called Mario Bryson. He used to be called the Vigilant Christian on YouTube, and he basically would do these Hollywood exposés about how they're all demonic and all of these symbolisms that you see in all the videos and stuff like that. And I love conspiracy theories, and he was all about Pizzagate, like all the stuff that just really like itches that very uncomfortable spot that I like to scratch sometimes,
Yeah.
like the uneasiness that I kind of like to feel. So anyway, turns out he basically was a scam artist, like essentially cult leader for a long time. And whereas Russ McCamey was torturing people, this guy literally was like posting about how God had taken away, his pornography addiction and all this stuff. And then like the very same day or the very next days, like, taking pictures of him laying back with his junk, like sending them to girls and doing a shit ton of drugs. But yeah, I just realized like how, like, I used to talk to him on Facebook all the time, and I'd be like, man, Mario, I'm so, when he found out he was bipolar, I, was like, hey, my brother's bipolar, blah, blah, blah. You just got to keep on your meds. And I was like uplifting this guy and talking to him on the regular. Well, like, I didn't know that he was being exposed for all this stuff. I knew he was going through some stuff, and he said he was leaving social media. But I don't know, like yesterday, I just got kind of curious and was like, what happened to Mario? Mario's a fucking cult leader. Mario had to run away from online because he was getting exposed for being a crappy Christian, essentially, just being a perverse, gross guy.
I mean, Gabby's like the best Christian I know
Yeah.
in terms of, proper Christians that actually go to church.
Yeah.
You could give it to Gabby. I mean,
I
she goes every week, so.
I used to be that person. I'd go several times a week, but I've mostly deconstructed a lot of my belief systems. And you know, I just refuse to be part of a congregation that talks about God and Jesus and how loving they are, and then simultaneously say the most hateful, bigoted, disgusting shit. I just refuse.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's just how I feel.
Gabby wants to know if she should protest Chick-fil this summer.
If you want to, I mean, if you want to, listen, I'm going to be honest. As someone who, is part of the LGBTQ community,
She's not.
I am. I've been with women and men in my life.
She hasn't.
Wow. Okay. Anyway,
You've
I
heard
eat
of
it.
outing
I will
you.
go
I'm
to
pushing you
Jesus
back
Chicken
in the
until
closet.
I die.
Jesus chicken.
Yes, Chick-fil-A. So Chick-fil-A is closed on Sundays, and they're a very Christian based church, whatever. They discriminate against gay people, not like by not selling them food, but by not hiring them and crap like that. It's a big deal. I think that if you feel convicted to boycott them, then do that. I've never felt convicted to do that. If I boycotted everyone that pissed me off, I would have to live off the grid in a hut somewhere with no running water. I mean, everybody sucks.
I'm grid dependent, so I thrive on the grid.
Me too.
But
Protest Chick-fil-A. I mean,
how are
see
you
how many
going
people you
to
can
protest?
rile. Yeah, see how many people you can get together.
Stand
If
outside
you're
the
by
front
yourself, you
door
could just be the crazy lady outside of
with a sign that
Chick-fil-A
says
with a
"Down with
sign
this all of this sign."
that says "Eat more cows."
God hates pigs. No, God hates
Wendy's
chickens.
doesn't hate gays.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, there you go. And you could put like the Wendy's wig on and like the dress and
That's right.
stand out there with Wendy's doesn't hate
And
gays.
you'll probably have several gay people just be like, "Hey,
Ooh, we
you
love you,
know,
Gabby.
we love you,
Imagine
Gabby. Thanks for protesting. I'm gonna get myself an 8-piece. You want an 8-piece? Okay." Like just getting her food. Like, you can protest. I'm gonna go inside with my flaming hot boyfriend.
fucking hell, SoFlo. Agree 100%. Let me tell you, like, I am a firm libertarian. All right, let me tell you, one president is good as another. You should just get rid of all of them. We should go back to independent city states. They should just, I am a firm libertarian. But the amount of my friends who say they're libertarian and then fucking fall into this left or right wing conspiracy theories is ridiculous.
I am a full on centrist. I take a little bit of the libertarian, a little bit of the right, a little bit of the left. And because I don't think any of them are correct, honestly. I am too. Gabby said that she's an erratic voter. I am as well. Like, you never know whether I'm going to vote for Democrat, Republican, Independent on any given situation. It just depends on what I feel is most important and what I feel like needs to be changed. And I'll vote on those policies.
It's why I don't like sovereign citizens, because they're extreme libertarians, and I feel like they bring shame on us all.
Well, let's be honest. Most libertarians bring shame on libertarians. And let's not start about the Libertarian Party of the United States, because that's not even close.
I'm not talking about a political party. That's the exact opposite.
No, I know you're talking about actual libertarians.
Actual libertarians.
You have right-leaning libertarians and left-leaning libertarians, and you have the anarchists who are also libertarian. Take care of your own shit. I wish everybody could do that. I wish that our churches would get in and do what they've been called to do biblically, and that is take care of each other. But they don't. They're too busy pointing and saying hateful crap and dividing themselves. Like, they don't care about the poor anymore. They do not care about taking care of the poor and the weak or anything like that.
How like they ever did.
No, it's not like they ever did. But they keep talking about bringing back, all these great things. Well, there's a lot of crap they're going to be bringing back that's not good too. But yeah, I don't know. I just say I'm a centrist. because I have so many different little. I just think everybody. It shouldn't be 2-party. It shouldn't be 3-party, and you shouldn't need $10 billion to run for president. Whatever happened to this being a civic duty?
I would
Now it's a
also
money grab.
call you a sexiest for sure. But yeah, it's controlled by a bunch of different families. It's a money grab. Democracy's become a vote yourself rich system. It's ridiculous. And there's 2 wolves and a sheep deciding what to have for dinner at this point.
Yeah, basically. I mean,
we need to abandon it and implement something new, but we won't.
We won't. We're gonna have another travesty on our hands. I have a lady that I work with that is from Poland. I don't know if I told this last week or not, but she's genuinely terrified because she's from Poland. And she's an older woman, 60, 70 years old. She's from Poland. And she's like, she came to America to get a better start. And now she's like, this stuff already happened to my country and it's going to happen to my country again, a different country completely. And she's like, no one's seeing this. Like, is no one seeing what we're doing? And I was like, no one's going to see what we're doing. Like, they're going to follow him all the way to the end. They follow Putin, Stalin, Hitler. All of the dictators have their amount of sheep that's going to eat everything that they hand them. Just saying.
I agree.
So I mean, like, what's going to happen?
I don't know. It's going to lead back to another dark age, or there's going to be a revolution.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. And the thing is like, here's the problem. The people that would have been gung-ho for the revolution are conservatives. Not a lot of them are upset enough yet, right? So now we got Democrats, and Democrats, what they like to do is cry and moan and sit on their hands and whine and fuss, but they're not going to do anything. Sometimes you got to punch a Nazi.
I mean, that is a fair point.
Sometimes not keeping your shit together is the proper response. Sometimes not just talking is the proper response. Sometimes you got to get rough. Democrats aren't willing to get rough. They want to sit there and cry, and they're not going to do anything about it. And they're just going to wring their hands and look around and talk about how horrible it is. But at the end of the day, what was it? Like, there was a bunch of people trying to get into one of the buildings or something like that. Now, I know there was a group of people that were keeping Musk and his men out of a building, but there was a building where I think the senators or something were trying to get in. There was one man in front of the door, one man, and they stood out there. I'm sorry, one man, there are 10 of you. Yeah. Get off your ass.
For real. Ridiculous system.
Man, so Flo, I would love for me and Gabby to have a hair coloring day.
Careful what you wish for, Flo. I mean, Nikki has met Gabby in person.
Yeah, we have met.
So, next time...
We're not that far away from each other.
Next time they could color each other's hair.
We could. We'll have to make a video of it, put it on YouTube.
I'll probably have to charge you for that, Flo. Put it on OnlyFans, but I'll do it. I'll make it as dirty and seedy as possible. Like, have like really horrible porn music playing as they color each other's hair.
We might have a little pillow fight just for you.
Exactly. Put some feathers in the air, you know.
The music will have lots of sexy saxophone in it.
And women moaning.
Like the Lethal Weapon soundtrack. You know what I'm talking about. If you know, you know.
Lethal Weapon was a great movie franchise up to a point.
You know what? I think they lost it when they tried to make it into a television show. I liked Lethal Weapon 4. Lethal Weapon 4 was okay. Was it the best? No. It was passable. It had Jet Li in it.
Yeah, it was decent.
It was okay.
Yeah, it was good enough. But like, at
Now, I'll
least they didn't
watch the
do what
first 3.
Die Hard did and turn John McClane into a superhero.
Right. I don't know. I really loved Live Free or Die Hard. I think that is my favorite Die Hard movie.
That is virtually saying that Die Hard 2 is your favorite Die Hard movie.
No, Die Hard 2 was awful. Die Hard 2 is the worst. I would
Die
say
Hard 2 is awful.
it's Live Free or Die Hard, then 1, then 3.
I remember the first time I saw Die Hard 2. I don't think I've seen it since.
Yeah, I've only seen it once, but
I was
I'll
like-
watch 1, 3, and 4.
Yeah, I will definitely watch 1 and 3. But I remember after watching Die Hard 2, I was like, did nobody read the script and go, maybe we should
This is
change
awful.
some of this?
Right? I think that they were just flying high on the fact that Bruce Willis, who was up until that point a comedic actor, actually did a good job. Like, at the beginning, they wouldn't even put his face on the poster.
I do.
The original Die Hard poster did not have his face on it because he was a comedic actor from, what is it, Moonlighters? What was it called? Moonlighting? Whatever. He was known as a comedian. When they saw that it was Bruce Willis, people laughed. They didn't take it serious.
And now it's like a cultural classic.
Right? I mean, but we have a lot of those. I mean, Pretty Woman was supposed to be a really dark movie, and that is a cult classic that ended up being like, it's a classic. Women love it. It's beloved by people in general.
How
it's a
is
great movie.
Pretty Woman a dark movie?
It was originally supposed to be a dark movie. In fact, until they edited it together, they didn't know what all was going to be in that movie. The original film wasn't anything like what they edited and pieced together. It ended up being a completely different thing, kind of like how Shrek wasn't supposed to be anything like it is now. The original Shrek was going to be Chris Farley, and he wasn't going to be like this mean ogre. It was going to be a Chris Farley-esque ogre.
Well, it's because Chris Farley only ever played one character.
That's right.
God
But
rest his
everybody
soul.
loved him.
But he was damn good at it.
He was so good at playing Chris Farley.
Yeah. Yeah, God rest his soul. He was damn good.
Gabby said that we're going to show everybody how LGBTQ we are. It's true. Me and Gabby are going to make something with both of our skins.
You.
Gabby wants you to make the trip. Are you making the trip to be the cameraman?
No. I don't want to watch that.
I just see me and Gabby like sewing together pieces of our flesh into like a really macabre doll. We can mail
you two do what you like. But I like, even if you were going to be LGBTQing, I'm not a big fan of lesbian sex.
Same. I'll watch gay sex all day long.
I'll watch gay sex.
I love gay sex.
Yeah,
but lesbian sex,
straight.
They always have these long nails too, and being in the medical fields, I just think about like if you get a scratch in there and they just have a little bit of something, you could like lose your girly bits, like horrible things. You could die potentially by getting a scratch in there, and getting bacteria up there. I'm just saying.
See, that's how it looks like. How I am with like porn stars with big tits these days. I'm like, when I was 14, I was like, oh yeah, big tits, and now I'm like, oh, that poor woman's back. Sit down for this one, love. Take the stress off. It's kind of sad getting to that age.
Yeah.
Where you watch porn and you're more worried about their health than the actual sex. But then the internet's ruined porn.
It really has. Because remember back in the day where like if you found like a dirty like not animation, if you found like a dirty picture, like I don't okay. So I found a folder in my parents' bedroom one time that had dirty cartoons in it. And I could literally just do my thing looking at just a dumb, dirty cartoon, just a still picture of two people going at it. I don't think I could nowadays.
No.
The magic's gone.
Yeah, the magic's gone. Like, you watch a video, it's just like a man and woman having sex, and you're like, who writes this shit?
Right. Like, that looks dumb.
Oh, just
that's boring
dumb.
As hell.
Boring. Where's the dog? Where's the clown? Where's the whipped cream? Whipped cream doesn't taste the same to me anymore. I'm really annoyed about it.
Maybe used to be have the same ingredients.
It used to be my favorite thing in the fucking world was a little bit of whipped cream on a pudding, on like cake or something. I tried it the other day. I'm like, ugh, this isn't good at all. I haven't had it for years.
Yeah, it could just be the brand, or they could have changed the recipe.
Maybe.
Because I know they do that in the US all the time, because they'll like change the recipe for something. And you're like, okay, first of all, this used to be way bigger and it used to taste way different. Or it could just be because you're getting old, you know, your taste buds change.
They do change.
I haven't found anything that I previously liked that I don't like, but there's a lot of foods that I enjoy now that I used to loathe.
Yeah, that's the way it goes, like sweet corn and peas. I never used to be able to eat sweet corn and peas. The texture would make me gag, which probably was an autism thing more than a food thing, but I can eat it now.
Yeah, see, like I used to hate black-eyed peas, and I would argue every year, every New Year's Day, I'd be like, I refuse to eat black-eyed peas. They say that what you do, because I would always get my mother-in-law would be like, but you know, it's supposed to be good for money, blah, blah, blah. And I'd be like, it says what you do the first day of the year is what you're going to do every day of the year. And I don't want to eat black-eyed peas ever. But there was one time someone served them. I went over to their house. And so, of course, I'm going to eat it. No one died from eating something they didn't like. So I get up a bowl and I destroyed that whole pot of black-eyed peas, destroyed it. It was like the best stuff ever. And I love it. I love it now. But back in the day, absolutely not.
See, there you go. Lesson learned. Should have kept eating the black-eyed peas. I'm just thinking what else. It's usually a texture thing with me, though. So, like mushrooms, I can't do mushrooms at all. It's just rubbery and slimy and...
What did you say you don't like?
Mushrooms.
Oh, mushrooms. I love mushrooms, man.
Yeah.
I love mushrooms. They're so good. Do you like okra?
Okra. Yeah, I like okra.
But you won't do mushrooms?
I won't do mushrooms. No.
Interesting.
Because they're slimy.
Because they're slimy. But so is the inside of okra. Just saying.
Okay. Right. It's not a limit thing. It's not a one rule for everything. It's just mushrooms are slimy, the texture's rubbery, they smell weird, and they don't taste very nice. So that's why I don't like them.
Gotcha. Whereas I find stuff with mushrooms. Yes, mushrooms on pizza is delicious. I just like mushrooms in general. I'll just saute them up with some butter and salt.
Ham and pineapple is good on pizza.
I love pineapple on pizza.
You got to be a Philistine not to like pineapple on pizza.
I think there are plenty of people that don't, but I think a lot of the people that don't like pineapple on pizza have probably never tried it, and they just are thinking, "Ooh, warm fruit that isn't in a cobbler." You know, but I don't know. I think that sweet and savory go together.
I
I like
feel like
my
that,
salmon with something like mango or something.
if Trump's going to start rounding people up, or ICE or whoever you're talking about, I think it should be people that don't like pineapple on pizza. They should
All
be put
right.
in
All of them.
re-education camps.
Just send them all to, what is it, El Salvador, who's saying that they'll take some of our prisoners, whether they're from America or not, whether they're citizens or not. They'll take them and house them for a small little fee.
Outsourcing prisons.
Yep.
That is insane.
Hey,
What
didn't
about
y'all do
fucking
that to
visiting?
Australia? Didn't you guys do that to Australia?
Back in the day,
Yeah,
back
but
in like the 1500s.
yeah, but what I'm saying
Isn't it
is
weird
you
discovered
know,
Australia before fucking America?
I'm just saying.
I think that's weird.
Yeah, they're talking about outsourcing. They're talking about dropping a few thousand people off on Guantanamo Bay, despite the fact that I think 630 or 650 is the most we've imprisoned there. I have a thought process though. So since Doge has stopped a lot of funding for people that are like, say, I don't know, farmers who are getting paid by the government, those have stopped, and those farms are going tits up. And when they do, I just have a feeling that we're going to have big banks or the government. They're going to buy up those farms. Those are going to be their farms. And our new prisoners are going to be free workers. That's just how I see it working. It makes sense. That's just my own little conspiracy theory that all of these farms, if they go tits up, who's going to grab them? None of us middle class people are going to be able to snag up the land. So what's that land going to go to? If we need farms, we have a bunch of people that we can use as slave labor. Prisons full of them, and going to be soon to be more.
Jeez. You honestly think it will come to that?
I wouldn't be surprised at anything. I'm just riding out the wave of the next 4 years. It's only been a month. It feels like it's only been a month and some change. It feels like an eternity. And like I said,
what is the name of my prime minister? It's Keir Starmer. Sorry, continue.
No problem. Yeah, I don't know. Nobody knows if it's going to happen or not. But I mean, like, it would make sense. It would make sense. What makes them even richer? Now you got free labor and income coming in from a farm. You're not having to pay some farmer to subsidize it or whatever the crap you guys pay him to do or not do. I have a friend who has a farm and was getting paid to not use it. The government was paying him to not use his land.
I mean, anyway, that's living the dream.
Right? How would you like for them to be like, hey, you got all this land and you could really work your ass off and plant some corn or cotton or something that we could need, or we're going to pay you money and you're just not going to do anything with it. Okay. Enjoy mowing the lawn. I'd take that job.
Globalization.
Listen, I could see Canada joining the EU.
The EU.
They're not going to become the 51st state.
They're getting annexed. Trump said. Trump wouldn't lie to us.
Trump has started trade wars. And then after a day, when the opposing people said, now we're going to tariff you back, he goes, wait. We came up with this great idea. It was the best idea, the goodest, the hugest idea I've ever had. Everybody looked at it. They said it was great. We're going to do the exact same thing we've been doing, except Mexico gets 5,000 less people on the border. He agreed to 5,000 less people on the southern border because he didn't even know. And then he's out there going, who made these trade policies? Who made these trade policies? What an idiot. What a buffoon. I don't know who did it, but they did a really bad job. Let's remember back in, I don't know, your term when you made those trade policies, you dipshit.
Babe. You're at a 20. He's at a 10. Calm down. Deep
I'm
breath.
sorry. He makes me so angry. The amount of lies. And then he'll go and push a country. And then he goes back and he's like, oh, we're going to do this. I'm so great. I've made this achievement. Dude, you did that 5-6 years ago. Like that was an old achievement. Him talking about the FAA acting like they're hiring mentally challenged people to do air traffic control is incorrect. Him talking about these DEI hires at the FAA being the problem, incorrect. So back in 2017, by the way, that's like smack dab in the middle of his last term, the FAA came up and they put that verbiage on their website. They discussed it in the New York Times, 2017. This verbiage has been up there. There was no Biden telling them to throw all this crap out and to hire all these dummies. Like the DEI hires still have to go to school to be an air traffic control person. They still have to pass school. They still have to have the aptitude in which to do it, right? So basically, the DEI hires, quote unquote, is basically that is protection. So if you're a black man, you finished your training, you're top of your class, they're not going to go, but there's a white guy over here and I'd rather have him in my office. They have to hire all people. And by the way, DEI hires in the FAA are 2.5%. 2.5% of their employees are DEI hires, but every single one of them is certified. So that's like saying every black doctor, every white doctor, every Asian doctor, every doctor that is not a white man, a white straight man, that would be like saying that they don't have the ability to do their jobs because they were hired based on the color of their skin, not that they went to school for 12 years. You know, because being an air traffic control person isn't like being a doctor, but you have to go to school for years. You have to pass that class. You have to retire by the time I think you're like 60, because I've talked to a few of them that were patients of ours. It is a very stressful job. And the fact that you're taking these away and you're saying we're not going to do DEI hires anymore. What about that autistic kid who is air traffic control savant? He knows it inside and out, knows every flight schedule, has known every flight schedule since probably beginning of time. Why can't he get a job there? If he passed the classes and he got a certificate, is that not merit enough? But since he's disabled, he has no place in any kind of federal government. The man that said this was Trump, by the way, said that they don't, not Trump, I'm sorry, one of his spokespeople came out and said that they don't have place for disabilities in the federal government. So why is Elon Musk being there?
Yeah.
He's autistic, but he's not actually a Fed or part of our government. So I guess that you know.
Yeah, I don't understand why he's involved, because he's not involved in the government at all, unless he wasn't appointed to be a minister, or wasn't he given a position in the cabinet?
I mean, he's the head of Doge, which is a fake thing. He doesn't have any clearance. He hasn't been vetted. And he's got a bunch of 19 to 24-year-olds accessing all of our security files. They know our social security numbers. They know all of that. And what's crazy is I was just watching a thing about drone assassinations and how they're using AI in order to take out those people that are in Gaza and stuff like that, because they're able to basically compute all of the stuff. Say you got a hold of my phone. They could get all of that information and AI could figure out the most probable place that I'm hiding and can just seek you out. But now these people have our social security numbers, our phone numbers, 19 to 24-year-olds. By the way, one of them got fired because he's a Nazi, was posting about eugenics and all sorts of racist shit. And he got fired, and then Elon rehired him, and basically Trump was like, he's just a kid. Like, he didn't know what he was saying 3 days ago. So I don't know.
I don't know.
I just think it's crazy, and people are just rolling over. And I'm like, why can't you see the writing on the wall? Why can't you see it? Like, he's demonizing everything. The media, he's always pointing fingers. He never says anything's his fault. You have all these Christians who are saying he's such a Christian man. He's such a Christian man. He didn't put his hand on the Bible during the inauguration. He has openly stated that he has never asked God or Jesus for forgiveness for his sins. How is this man saved? How is this man saved and also doesn't seem to understand biblical principles?
Right.
It makes me mad. I didn't complain as much about Biden, but Biden was like much of there were things that he did that pisses me off 100%, but it didn't feel as critical as what this feels like. It didn't feel like people that I cared about and knew were going to be in danger. And now it feels like people I know and love are going to be in danger. That sucks.
Okay. I think we'll wrap it up there. We will return next week. Despite the hopes of many, it's good night from me. And it's good night from her. Good night, everyone.
Night.